Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Lunch Date with Cazzy. We are still in season 2, and this is episode 12. You're probably a little confused, and that's okay, because, when I don't have a show, I move, the episode along because I want to make sure that that the episode numbers matches the amount of shows. So this is show 12, episode 12 of The Lunch Date with Cazzy season 2. Now, today is Tuesday, the 18th of February. And I'm looking for my paperwork because I know I did, here it is. Sorry about that. So it is Tuesday, February the 18th. The year just seems to be going so fast. We are already in the middle of February. January took forever to finish, and now February just seems to be going really, really fast. And it's a short month, so we have less than 2 weeks left. But anyway, if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to if you celebrated this week. And of course, we are still in Aquarius season with Pisces coming up very, very soon, next week, in fact. So today we have a very important guest. I call her important. She is so many things to so many people. Her name is Ms Donna McLeod, a former state representative here in Georgia, Gwinnett County. And I love hearing her speak. I love her views. I love her opinions. She's so smart, so talented, educated. And, being a politician, this season, everything that is happening right now is one of those things that, you just can't get away from. So I'm so excited to hear what Donna has to say. But in the meantime, until she is going to be joining us very shortly, I just wanted to go over a couple of things. We've got some sponsors to thank. We've got some interesting events coming up that I want to tell you about. But first and foremost, we are in Black History Month. Yes, that's right. Black History Month is still upon us. It is February here in the United States. In England, which is where I'm from, in the United Kingdom, Black History is in October. So, which happens to be a long month. Why is it one of the shortest months here in the US, February, being Black History? It should be one of the longer months, or we should have at least 2 months totally dedicated to Black History. But anyway, so Black History in the UK is in October. So we'll talk about Black History again when that time comes around. But in the meantime, I do want to mention that we are in Black History, and I do have a, let me just bring it to the stage. We want to talk about Ruby Bridges just for a moment. So if you can see my screen, I'm sure you all can. So Ruby Bridges, out of the 6 African-American students designated to integrate into school, Bridges was one of the only one to enroll And this happened on November the 14th, 1960. It was her first day of school. She was escorted to school by 4 federal marshals. Isn't that something? I actually have a picture of this. And you know, what's really funny was I used to see this picture depicted in so many places, but the story behind it is so real. This was 6-year-old Ruby Bridges. Could you imagine being escorted to school every day by the federal marshals only because you were either bullied or, you know, the students were looking at you? She was so brave. We have so much to thank Ruby for. This is because of her that we were able to go to school as we are today, freely, without, you know, having security at our schools for that reason. Obviously, we've got security for a whole other reason. But for Ruby Bridges, she is definitely a pioneer. She's definitely someone that we need to thank. And there are so many others. I do have some other Black history news and information that we can talk about later on in the show. But I know that my guest has a lot to say, and I can't wait to hear everything that she has to say, you know, in this current climate that we are in. So before I bring her to the stage, let me thank our sponsors. So we have Bacchanal TV. Thank you for your sponsorship. Of course, Bacchanal TV, ladies and gentlemen, is all things Caribbean. If you are looking for a home where you want to, you know, connect with your culture, from carnivals to concerts to different festivals, Bacchanal TV is the home, and that is BAKANAL.TV. Clark TV Network, we're usually live on Clark TV Network, but the connection did not connect today. But Clark TV Network, please, again, another Black-owned business for entertainment, Clark TV Network. We also have We're White. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is 2025. This is the 25th anniversary of We're White. So if you, oh, let me bring myself to the stage. There I am. So it's the 25th anniversary of We're White. So they are having a We're White with a touch of silver. It's going to be on May the 25th anniversary, 2025. So all the 25, so everything to do with 25. So that's going to be a great event this year, May 25th for the Atlanta Carnival season. And then we also have Atlanta host services. So if you're looking for somewhere where you need to be picked up from the airport, if you're looking for a home, if you're looking for someone to come in and clean your home, anything to do with hosting, Atlanta Host Services. And I will bring the flyers to the stage in a moment. Now, I also work in travel. So what's been happening right now with a lot of, it seems like there's a lot of airline and planes, you know, unfortunate situations, like yesterday, for example, in Toronto, where the plane flipped over. We have no idea what actually happened, whether it's weather related, whether it's something else, but it seems like there's a lot. Just wanted to put something in perspective. There are 28,000 flights every day in the United States. 28,000. Yes, we hear about 1 or 2 that have crashed. Flying is still the safest mode of transport. So I know that a lot of us are fearful. You know, we think that, you know, what is happening in this climate. It seems like everything is just not going our way in any way, shape, or form. And that may be true, especially if you love eggs like I do. I'm the egg lover, so that's a whole other conversation. But yes, but flying is definitely the safest. You know, you just got to take it in your stride and pray. That's what is keeping us all going right now, just praying. But think about that, 28,000 planes, 28,000 flights every single day in the United States. So if 1 or 2 accidents happen, it is still out of 100%, if you're looking at it, it's still very, very small in comparison to the number of planes that actually take off every single day in this country. So with that said, I am going to bring Ms Donna McLeod to the stage. I believe that she is off camera right now, so hopefully we'll see her beautiful face. And let me see if she is connected with us. The Honorable Donna McLeod, are you there, ma'am?
Yes.
Oh, she is. We can't see your beautiful face, but that's okay. We've got your voice.
Oh, the camera.
The camera's not on. I think you've got your camera hidden. So we got a picture of you now.
Okay, don't know why my camera is sitting. Okay, well, we might have to do until I can figure out why my camera is hidden right now.
Okay, sure. That's no problem at all. There's no problem at all. How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm okay. I've actually got a bad hair day today, hence the reason why I'm wearing a hat. But that's okay. That happens sometimes.
No worries.
We can't be perfect every single day. You know, there's some days where, you know, you have that bad hair day. So I figured I'll just throw my hat on today. So Ms Donna McLeod, let me just tell the viewers a little bit about you from what I know, because I've known you for a few years. You know, you are a wonderful, wonderful person. There's nothing negative I can say about you in any shape or form. So Donna is a friend. She is a community advocate. She is a fierce supporter of the community, I would say. She's won numerous awards, of course, all well deserved. But one of the most important things that I know Donna to be, and that is family. Family is like the most important thing to her. She is a mom. She is a grandma, right? A grandma.
Yeah.
You know, fierce supporter of her family in every way, shape, or form. A sister, and everything else that goes along with the word family. I know that's one of the most important things to you. But you know, we thank you again for everything that you do within the Caribbean community, just in the community in general, for your, you know, your state. Sorry, not for your state, for your county, for Georgia on the whole, and just being an advocate for us all and keeping us all on our toes in this climate that we are in. So with all of that said, just want to know, you know, how are you feeling right now?
So actually, believe it or not, I've been recovering from a flu, but I'm much better today. And then yesterday was my best feeling day, and it was also my nephew's birthday. So, and I had my grandson because he was off school, because I was celebrating, of course, President Barack Obama.
Yes, and, of course, our President's Day.
Of course. And but overall, like right now, I'm good. But the climate itself is really it's something to behold. But,
yes.
But it was something we were definitely trying to prevent, right?
Exactly. We were. Actually, Donna, just before you continue, so with regards to your camera, do you have a settings? If you go into settings and see, maybe it's because sometimes when I'm not on camera, it's because it's choosing a different camera to the one that I have connected. So that maybe, I would love to see it, because I know this is an important conversation. We've been trying to do this for a while. And I know we're going to have a part 2 and maybe a part 3.
So I go on settings.
Yeah, just to see which camera it's.
Then what do I look for? Camera
or video?
Okay, hold on, let me see.
Yeah, because if you've had different cameras with this laptop or whatever you're using, it might be pointed to a different one.
I hope I haven't lost you.
Or if you want to come out and jump back in, we could do, you know, either one. We're here until 12. We got about 45 minutes.
Okay, so the cameras are on. Let me jump off and come back on.
Okay, we'll be here. I will still be here. I can keep talking.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, my dear. Okay, so while Donna is reconnecting, what I'm going to do now, let me just play my ads, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about something else that we have that we're working on. Okay, so here it goes. Okay, so while we wait for Donna, let me just bring to the stage some more information. So this is Ms Donna McLeod. We're waiting for her to join us again. She will be back on shortly. So I hope you can hear me. Let me just make sure my volume is up. Okay, so it is. Okay, so Ms Donna will be joining us again shortly. But let me go through some of the other things that we wanted to go over. Okay, so Black History Month. Let me just tell you a little bit about some Black history that I have prepared. So we have Thurgood Marshall, the pioneering Thurgood Marshall. I don't know if you know, but the hang on a second. So we've got Thurgood Marshall, William Still, Ruby Bridges, as I mentioned, and also Ruby Bridges is a symbol of the civil rights movement, known as the first African American child to, as I said, let me just bring it to the stage one more time. There is Miss Ruby Bridges. And of course, we have the beautiful artwork. So her bravery, it says, Bridges' bravery inspired the Norman Rockwell painting, The Problem We All Live With, in 1963, which depicts the young Bridges walking to school between two sets of marshals. Look at that, isn't that something? Okay, so what else do we have in Black history today? Michael Jackson, believe it or not, and I think Donna actually posted this just the other day, so I kind of stole this from her. But Michael Jackson, his album, Michael Jackson's Thriller, the Thriller album, still remains one of the most, like he still holds the record for the most Grammy nominations for that album, Michael Jackson Thriller. So Michael Jackson will always be down in history when it comes to Black history. Yesterday was President's Day. And of course, oh, there she is, she's back. So yesterday was President's Day. And of course, we have our forever president, Barack Obama. Donna did post about this as well. He is who we are considering our president for President's Day. So let me bring Donna back because we have a lot to cover with regards to what's happening now in the political climate. So there she is. Oh, we can see you.
I went on my phone.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Listen, you can't knock the phones. Hey. So Donna, there you are. So yeah, so let's continue our conversation. So with this political climate, we've got a lot to cover. And of course, we're not going to be able to cover it all in about, 40 minutes. But we'll have a part 2 and a part 3. But some of the most important things that I know that you have been, keeping everybody or trying to keep as many people as you can up to date. And we've been trying to spread the word as you give it to us. It's really just informing people because there's so much misinformation out there, So what would you say? Well, first of all, reintroduce yourself, Ms. Donna. And we're going to talk about your wonderful honor because you are being honored on Saturday. So we are not going to forget that. We are not going to forget that.
Thank you. So happy Black History Month. And I know, there's some issues with it being the shortest month. I say we celebrate 365 days, but there is a reason. The month of February, the gentleman that started, that attempted to start Black history, week. Well, he started Black History Week. And in this country, there's obviously there's some kind of, intimidation in with blacks in America. And so I think they started with the month of February being the shortest month, but they thought they could dip their foot in the water, and it started as Black History Week. And it is also the month that Frederick Douglass celebrates his birthday. So
right.
they ended up adapting the month of February. And I love the fact that you brought up Ruby Bridges. For her, we owe a lot in education, because education was integrated. It wasn't that blacks didn't have a problem teaching their own. The problem was they called it separate but equal, and it was never equal. There was never enough resources for the black schools in America. So that's why they were pushed to integrate. A lot of black folks feel they were educated better when they were segregated, but the resources got fewer and fewer, and they were doing it more deliberate to make it more difficult for African American children to be educated. So,
exactly.
So I don't know what you might have said about me, but I am Donna McLeod. I'm a mom, I'm a grandmother. I'm also a chemical engineer, which is a lot of time I do not say. In fact, I have a consulting business. And I am also the first person of Caribbean and Jamaican heritage to serve in the Georgia House of Representatives. And I can say proudly that I was not the last, because there's several more elected in the last 2 sessions. So for that, I always say, if you're going to make history, make sure that you're not the only history maker in the bunch.
Yes, of course. Oh my gosh. And you know what? That's one of the things that I always say. I'm so proud. Every time you say that, I always smile. I always smile, because it's so true. You are the first. And, there's so much more to you that, you've encouraged me to be interested in politics to a degree. You know what I mean? So you are definitely inspiring people all across the board. For sure.
So I want to I hope, I don't know if that's enough of an introductory of myself. I don't know if you want me to say anything else, but we can get into the meat of what's going on.
Let's get into the meat, because I think a lot of folks are feeling it now. It's only been a month. Actually, it's short of a month. It's the 18th today, so a couple of days short of a month, and already that feeling is there. That feeling of uncertainty. That feeling of what do I do? Look how many people are losing their jobs. The unemployment rate is going to go crazy. I mean, the ripple effect is just putting it lightly. Put it that way.
Yeah. So, for those of us, that's the 92%, and I hate to be bragful about that, but I often tell people Black women are not a monolith. We are not, trust me, but we are a monolith when it comes to our humanity and our families and the people we love. So we vote in a block so heavily because we prioritize our humanity first.
Exactly.
And so on November 5th, 2024, everyone was duly warned that there was this document. And prior to November 5th, 2024, people were warned about a document called Project 2025, right?
Yes,
Nobody thought that was just a theory or he wasn't a part of it, but he was. And the reason why I took Project 2025 so very seriously was because of the state legislator in the Georgia House of Representatives. My Republican colleagues actually got their legislation from this organization called Heritage Foundation. If you look at Project 2025, Heritage Foundation fingerprints are all over it.
Wow.
And Project 2025, what we're seeing right now is what it said. It said it wanted to tear down the Department of Education.
The government, yeah.
It wanted to completely tear it down. Oh, you talking about safety laws? You talking about making sure we have the environment is clean, water is clean, necessities. People take the fact that government is in place, that they have been living a life that's relatively safe when it comes to even consumption. And we take it for granted that this is automatic. It is not automatic. Does government have problem? Absolutely. Government is not perfect, but that's why we, the people, are the government. And it's our job to ensure that government actually works, function on behalf of ourselves.
On behalf of everybody, not just a few. Yeah.
Exactly. Government. So I want to stop and I want to pause because I want to clearly say something about politics and governance, right? People get tense and they get a little bit, and when they hear the word politics, a lot of people say, I'm not in politics. I don't want to be in politics. But in this country, because it's a constitutional democracy, and I know I'm probably sound a little bit wonky right now, but I need you to understand that because this country that was stolen from the Native American Indians and basically taken over by some criminals from England who basically did not want to go back to England because they wanted because they literally were found freedom here. Yeah. So they were in seek of freedom themselves. So they come here and eventually they had a revolution against England. They wrote this document called the U.S. Constitution. And on July 4th, 1776, this country decided that it was independent of Britain, right? So that's July 4th, 1776. July 4th, 1776 was not the eradication of slavery in this country. It was still ongoing, and it was ongoing until June 19th, 1865, right? Or 1863 when the Emancipation Proclamation. But again, they did not want to recognize it in Texas until June 19th, 1865. And so as a result, this country has this law, this book they call the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah.
Yes. So the U.S. Constitution, as was going fine until a few people started saying, hey, I'm not in this. I'm not in the Constitution. Right? Women, Black people, not in the Constitution. So as a result, there's been...
It was all white men. It was all about white men.
And the only people with a right to vote in this country in accordance to the Constitution was white men that own land. Not just every white man, white men that own land. So any other white men were second-class citizens, and they couldn't vote either.
Wow.
When Black men got so people, it's deep, right? And the more you understand is the more you are saying to yourself, this is rubbish that's going on. So we look at this dude now, the felon 47, and he's doing exactly what he's always done, even in his business life. He creates chaos. And then says, oh, look over here, it's broken. After he breaks it.
Yeah.
Then he says, oh, somebody needs to fix it. And so what he's created is chaos equal distraction. And what I'm really asking folks to do, we're seeing people get laid off. We're seeing this, and this was all in Project 2025. So there's a 4-letter acronym now, right? FAFO, right? F around and find out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people effed around, and now they're finding out.
Now they're finding out.
I'm asking our viewers, and now they're finding out. So what I'm really asking our viewers and our folks in the Caribbean community is to be measured, right? Because chaos can't last forever, right? It always erupts in something. Even in his chaotic life, he's been sued, man. He's been doing this, but he's never been held accountable. I think one of the worst things that this country does to white men is not hold them accountable. And they have not been accountable for generations. And now we're getting the final results of unaccountability.
Yeah.
And when I ask people about whether it's politics or governance, politics is that process. It's the process in which I myself had to participate in
in order to get elected, right? I have to talk to you, the voters, and ask you for your vote. And I got to tell you why I'm going to be the best person to be your voice, right? That's my job. My job is to tell you why I'm the best person to be your voice. As a result, people get elected or not elected. The bigger part of that responsibility is governance. Governance.
Yeah, so there's a big difference between politics and governance. There's a big difference between politics and governance. It's not the same thing, and people get that confused a lot.
It is a very big difference. You're talking to someone who's done both, right? The politics is sharp. It's not a long period. It's sharp. It's very combative in some places. It's a short window of time. You've got to get people convinced. You're running around. You're doing this. You're doing that. You're buying this. You're buying that. You're putting up signs. You're doing this. That's the political part. Once you get to the table, you realize there's millions, if not billions, if not trillions of dollars at the table in which you have to manage on behalf of the people you're serving. And the way we serve the people in this country is the departments that we provide, like the Department of Education, to make sure that we fund things for our children to get educated. This is not like a joke anymore, right? Because people are getting a civic lesson quick, fast, and in a hurry. And it's
astonishing to me. I was going to say, sorry, it's astonishing to me that they can come in and dismantle Department of Education as an example. I mean, there's many other departments being dismantled, but just take that as an example and give it back to the states. It's always, coming from the UK, from Europe, I always think America operates as you've got the federal government, and then each state operates like their own mini country. It's like they're all doing things so different.
And each state has a constitution.
Yeah, and they all have a constitution. It's just insane. There's so many barriers to everything. You don't even feel like you can get by because there's so many barriers. Every time you go somewhere, you're getting stopped. And then you go somewhere else, you're getting stopped. It's like you don't even feel you can get by. And then having the current, politicians in place now, it's almost like a whole step back. So now you're stepping back years before you can now go forward again.
Absolutely. So let's take the Department of Education, right? When I was a state legislator, I actually spent a lot of time and energy trying to bring attention to the state funding of education in Georgia. So Georgia's, it's called a QBE formula, the quality basic formula. And I literally mean it, basic. It just covers basic because it doesn't cover kids with special needs. It doesn't cover second language. It doesn't cover reduced lunches, in which a lot of parents find it very helpful that their kids go to school and they don't have to worry about lunches. Sometimes it's free or sometimes it's very reduced. So what people don't understand is that especially in the state of Georgia, that's not funded here. So if they dismantle it, all those people with kids with special needs or kids that need reduced lunches are up a creek without a paddle. And so I introduced legislation back when I was in the Georgia House. I think it's 2020. I want to say I introduced legislation to update the QBE formula to represent some of the things that were lacking here, just in case anything should happen to the federal government. Ooh, gee,
my word!
The federal government right now.
They have a lot to thank you for, because look what's happening.
Genius. Yeah, now I look like some kind of genius. It wasn't genius, really. It's because I'm a very analytical person and an engineer. So for me, if you're going to do something to fund, then your children should always be your priority. Especially it's number one priority in the state funding budget is education. So the state has a responsibility to education, but so does the federal government, right? But we should take on as much of the responsibility as possible, because at the end of the day, it is our kids. Georgia, and because Georgia and all the other 50 states operate almost like an independent country, because
like their own constitution, their own country. It's crazy.
They do. And because remember what was happening, and that's why history is so important. The reason why is because there were southern states that wanted to keep the practice of slavery in place. And
The
so
slaves,
they
yeah.
did not want to be told by any federal government how to run their state. So when you hear state laws, that was because the states had so much power in basically keeping the laws that they wanted to keep. And slavery was
Yeah.
one of the ones that they wanted to keep in the South. And so they, as a compromise, with the Civil War, they did give states still some ability. Well, they give them a lot of ability to make their own laws, unless they violate state laws. If they violate state laws, then of course they can be taken to task. But
Yeah.
again, it takes a while. It has to go through the system. So if they violate the federal laws, somebody has to file a lawsuit against the state in order to get it heard at the federal level. But
Right.
this,
So just making things
what we're
even more difficult, even more difficult
yes,
to get through. That's why everything
yes,
takes so long. That's why, when people are waiting, they can be waiting and waiting and waiting. And by the time they waited so long, they're already in desperate need. Now they're even in more desperate need for what they need to be able to get
yes.
by. So I really don't know how this
So
political climate is going to play out for a lot of people who are in that situation.
I want to make sure we touched on education. I want to touch on immigration on that part
Yes,
too.
yes, absolutely.
There's a lot going on in immigration. Again, if you're asking me, should there be some overhaul of immigration? Absolutely, it was out of control. There any place that doesn't have things that makes things orderly is chaotic, right? But we also have to remember, I remember moving into my house in the year 2000. It was clay when I first bought my land. The land was just clay, right? And so I used to come in here and check to make sure the progress was going well. And so as time went by, it got, the foundation starts building. I will tell you that 98% of the men working on my house were Hispanic males, because they were cheaper labor, and the only white person in the complex at the time were the foremans. And so immigration, or the ability for immigrants to just come through, was not accidental. They were being basically pulled through so that they could be. Yeah, so let's not forget that part. And then there are immigrants. There immigrants from other places, like the Caribbean. There's plenty of us here too. We ain't no small group, right? And so one of the things I want to get people not to get frightened, because you have rights. If somebody comes to your door, you don't got to let nobody in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they have a warrant, they got to show you that warrant. Don't open your door if you don't have to. Okay. Secondly, there's a couple things that happened recently, and I've sent out a newsletter to the community about this. One of the things was green card holders. If you're traveling back into the U.S. and you're a green card holder, do not sign I-407. It's a form called I-407, because you will be giving up your green card status. Okay.
Wow.
Don't sign anything.
Wow.
Do not say, even if they try to bully you and tell you that they brought up stuff from the past. Sometimes so they use fear tactics, right? So you feel afraid.
My God,
don't be afraid.
So much. It's so much to educate.
I-407.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's so much to educate. It's so much to educate folks. Also, people who hold dual citizenship, dual, passports. If you're leaving the country, you've got to leave on your U.S. passport and come back on your U.S. passport. Don't use another passport. I'm one of those. I fall into that category. But with immigration, I've been speaking to, I've got my, people who do various things. I have my lawn care guy, just so many people are just fearful with everything that is happening right now, the lives that they live. You've got folks whose grandparents are being deported. Because they're not documented. Too much is going on, and I think the fear is what a lot of people, are just scared of right now. He's putting a lot of fear in people's lives. Fear will always get to you.
Yeah, and I do want people to recognize this, right? So I know that a lot of us will use our country of birth, because if you do look in your passport, ladies and gentlemen that are born outside this country, it will say place of birth, and it will label your place of birth. So you're always identified by your origins. But the reason why is in the United States, when you do become a United States citizen, you do relinquish your ties to any other countries. So, you know, confiscating your U.S. passport if you have not used it while you're leaving the U.S. is in their total rights, right? Because it is something that we made a oath to do. But again, know your rights, and also be cognitive of the fact that this is there's no orderly plan. A manifesto and execution are two different things, right?
Yes.
In science and in engineering, we say there's theory and then there's practical, right? It's just like somebody tell you that the computer's not working, this computer's not working, and the computer's not plugged in. Well, it's not going to work if it's not plugged in.
If it's not plugged in, so right.
So we have to be practical about the things that we are doing. We have to be aware. And if you know something that can help somebody else, tell somebody. The minute I heard about these two changes, is immediately I made sure everybody in my network knew about it.
Right.
I got my first email. I got a first text from an African woman whose friend was from the Ivory Coast. That's how I found out about the American passport issue. So the minute you know something that can help, please share it. We're in this together, right? Because at this time, the way there is a unelected billionaire basically trying to tell us who we are, and we cannot allow anyone else to tell us who we are. People of money have always considered themselves somehow superior. They're not.
They're not.
Money is in some ways conceptual, right? It's how much power you put to it or give to it that it maintains that power, right? The US dollar is not backed by anything but its confidence, right? And if they continue to do this, then we're going to be in a whole lot of trouble.
Well, already on a whole, if you think about it, you know, it's unbelievable that we have a felon in the White House anyway. So that's a whole different topic.
Oh boy.
But then you have the rest of the world who are looking at America like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And I think the biggest thing about what I've been hearing is, you know, America used to be feared by the rest of the world. So according to, you know who, Felon 47, America is being a laughing stock right now. So he wants to make sure that America gets back to where America used to be. But at the end of the day, you're doing it at the detriment of the people who are here, the people who are fierce defenders of this country. You know, and to the rest of the world, they're just looking at you like, you must be absolutely out of your mind.
He's not trying to get America back to where it used to be. He's trying to get it to where it's run by it's a plutocracy where it's run by billionaires and millionaires.
Like it's a company, like he's running one of his companies.
Exactly.
That's what they're doing.
I think Michelle Obama said it best. She said, during the campaign, if he wins this election, if you're not a 6-digit, 7-digit, 8-digit, 9-digit, you'll be a no digit to him. You will mean nothing to him. And
that's exactly what has happened. And it's only been less than 1 month. And that's exactly what's happened. We got how many years of this? I want to touch on that as well, because I made a post one time about 4 years. And I'm talking about 4 years. But someone corrected me and said, this may not be 4 years. This may not be 4 years. Is that something that he could change, that change the whole Constitution for him to stay in power longer than 4 years?
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. So there are laws and there are executive orders. Laws actually require the congressional branch of government, because there are three of them. the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branch. The legislative branch, when a law is made and is actually implemented, it takes 2/3 of Congress to undo it. So anything that is already a law cannot be undone by a single person. Now, what I am concerned is I'm watching Republicans in the congressional branch or the legislative branch of the government kind of giving their power up to this executive branch. It's still going to require 2/3 of Congress because they don't have it, right? They have a 1 vote margin in the House, and I think it's a 4 vote margin in the Senate. So they don't have enough to create 2/3 of Congress. So so that's the other thing I need people to understand. If he's running around saying he's changing laws like birthright citizenship, not.
Yeah. No, that got pushed back anyway.
But the Supreme Court is another branch, or the courts are another branch that I'm watching carefully, right? You have to watch the courts very carefully. The courts can overturn laws, right? So that's why that's why the 3 branches were so important. That is why this country is unique in that sense, right? In countries that are parliamentary, your prime minister feeds into your legislative branch. This country creates 3 completely but equal branches of government that's supposed to hold each other accountable. But all of them is really subjected to us, the people. That's why on November 5th, 2024 would have been the day to really make this a true democracy in a sense. Because I know that this woman would have really tried her very best to get this country in the way that it should be. I wanted to quickly touch on tariffs, and I know there's a lot going on. So tariffs, I am so proud of the Canadians, the Mexicans, and some of the other countries that are pushing back and saying,
I think was it not South Africa? There was a few of them. There's a few of them. They're pushing back. You're not going to be bullied.
Yes, they're not going to be bullied. And guess what happened? The very minute the stock market started plunging, the felon got scared and pulled back. And then he tried to say, oh, well, they promised to get me more troops to the border. It was promised under Biden. He's a coward, and cowards died many times before they died.
Yeah, that just shows the power of people. Don't be feared. Don't. It's almost like you're threatening. It's like a bully type behavior. You know what I mean? That is what we're dealing with. So we have to push back, and this goes to everybody. This goes to everybody. Just keep pushing back on things. Let's talk about February the 28th. What do we got planned for February the 28th?
Okay, so the entire month of February we have not done Target, right? Nobody's shopping at Target.
Nobody's because it fell. They lost how many billion?
Yes, billions. And as a black woman, I am not protesting. I am not going out there and waving no more signs for y'all. You're not getting my physical body out there. But there's more than one way to skin a cat. And so, on February 28th, we're all collectively not shopping for anything. So please, on the 27th of February, get what you need. Because on the 28th, we are not. I tell you again, we are not shopping.
Not $1.
Not $1 anywhere. Not in the gas station. Nowhere. Not for a food item. Not nothing. We are not going to do, because you know what? I'm always reminded, and I love the fact that I have always enjoyed reading history, and the Montgomery boycott. When those folks got off the bus for 386 days, they created a economic catastrophe for Alabama. Economic catastrophe. That's how we ended up getting the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, because black dollars is still green dollars, and we can
Yes.
withhold it and say we are not putting up with it.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh. I hope, I know if we start to share it on Facebook, it's going to get shut down and people's pages are going to get shut down because they have the power to do that. But so we have to make sure we are sending it, we are telling people, everyone that you meet, you're telling them about February the 28th. We're making sure that people know that. Go tell a friend, go tell a friend, go tell that friend, tell your colleagues, just nothing. We're not even shopping at Black-owned business. We're just not shopping. We're just not getting any tax dollars going into the economy on February the 28th. So I've had conversations with everybody I know. Of course, I'm not going to be shopping. So, but I think it's going to work. I mean, look at Target. I think Walmart, Lowe's. There's a few of them. Amazon is another one. The sales are all down at these places. So we need to make sure we stick together. It's one day, which is this month. I think next month there's another plan for another date. And then we've got a week. There's a week planned.
And the message has been getting around quite well. So we don't have to televise it. We don't have to, but I think it's important for us to be on a one accord on this issue when it comes to our thing. DEI, let me just say this because I know we're going to be wrapping up something. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yes, inclusion.
DEI actually began the day that slavery ended, or probably before that, because so anytime you have to incorporate people into different environments, you have to create the space for them. It's not magic, guys. We're not going to allow them to say that woke is a bad word or DEI is a bad word. Those are all real words. Woke
DEI.
I'm alert.
Yeah, DEI does not equal Negro. A lot of people seem to think DEI is just about Black people. It is absolutely not. In fact, white women benefit more from DEI. White women benefit more. Because like you said earlier on, Donna, this whole constitution was all about white men. So everybody else outside of that category benefits from DEI, including the LGBTQ community, Latinos, Black women, white women, disabled, everybody else but white men that looks like Felon 47 with, even poor white men benefit from that too. So, you know what I mean? DEI covers everybody. Yeah.
If anybody,
DEI covers
if
everyone.
an opportunity to what? Yeah, if you get an opportunity to, there's it's online. It's called Slavery by Another Name.
Okay.
In which the toxicity of how they actually rebranded Black males in particular when they were once slave and they were the strong, healthy. They were great. But once a Black man started exerting his will to be a man, all of a sudden they had to rebrand him. And Slavery by Another Name shows you how they rebranded Black men. We got to know our own worth. We can't allow anybody else to tell us who we are. We got to tell people who they are. When I ran for office, anyone who knows me, I'm consistently who I am. It's not going to change. But you never let anyone brand you, because then they tell your story for you. Don't let people tell your story for you, because they'll tell it wrong.
Right,
You're
exactly.
your own story. Somebody else
you have to tell your own story. Oh, you have to tell your own story.
Yes, you do. So I just really want to I hope that this is provide some knowledge for folks and there are probably some folks that know some more stuff. If you know, please share. If sharing is not, you don't lose the knowledge because you share something. And I have friends working in every aspect. I have friends working at the CDC. I have friends working at housing.
Wow.
And so, and everybody, and I get texts every day. When I tell you, people are truly getting to understand what I was talking about when I said the difference between politics and governance. There is a difference. There is a big difference. And so when people now are texting me all the time and asking me, what should I do? I'm telling you right now, I am not going to be having a heart attack about this. One of the things that give me ease, and I hate to say this, but I do have options, right? I was born in Jamaica, I grew up in Canada, but I have made the United States my home, and I've done everything possible as an American citizen, not even born here, but as an American citizen who took an oath to this country to stand up and fight and push back, and I've done it since the day I got here. And I'm not asking, I'm not begging anyone for anything. I'm telling you that this country is worth fighting for, but it also has to recognize at any given time that the people that want to be in charge of it cannot just think they are a monolithic. We're a multicultural, multi-layered society, and we've all benefited from it. All of us have benefited from it. So at no given time should anyone feel that they are not a part of this country, because every part of it is built by all of us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We kind of lost the feed for a little bit there, Donna, but we're back now. We're back now. So just so that we can end on a positive note. So this Saturday you're being honored. So let's talk about you and put the focus on you. I mean, well deserved. You are an honoree. I did have the information up here. Let me see if I can get the screen. So it's the honoree, the Honorable Donna T. McLeod, and this is this Saturday coming up. It's called a Collision with Purpose. Is that the right? Okay, a Collision with Purpose. So it is on Saturday, February the 22nd. Doors open at 5 p.m. The event starts at 6. The host is Dr. Laxley W. Stevenson, and it's over there on Shiloh High School in the theater, 4210 Shiloh Road in Snellville. So guys, go ahead and get your tickets. Ms. Donna McLeod is being honored. Are there any other honorees or just you? Because it should be just about you.
I'm just seeing me right now. I don't know if any others, because sometimes they honor more than one people, but they send them their different flyers. So I don't know. But I know that Dr. Stevenson, he wrote a book too. So I will also be there on making sure that he gets his just dues and books. And I'm also in the process of writing my own biography.
As you should. As you should. Why not?
But my journey here has been. My journey to this point has been a very interesting one, but everybody's story is interesting. But I do think that mine has had a history that I have had to overcome a lot of things, and every struggle, everything that you go through, make you a better person. You cannot say what you would be if you weren't the journey that you already took, right? So. Yeah. The good, bad.
Well, I would say this. I know some other, bits and bobs about Donna, and she is probably one of the strongest people that I know. Oh Lord, I don't even want to start welling up because you know what.
No,
but anyway, I know. But you are one of the strongest people that I know. Just from the fact that you are a civil servant, you are a humble civil servant. You have no issues and no problems serving people, right? Very much a people's person. And then when you had your own struggles within your family, you did what you had to do because of who you are. And boy, do you have a story to tell. So yes, that is going to be an absolute bestseller. I can't wait to interview you when your book is out, because I know I'm going to have you on the show again. But even prior to that, we still have a lot to do. We still have a lot to do. A lot of
midterm is coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Midterm is coming up. Midterm.
Ooh, yes.
That means we need to get out there and vote. And do what some of you did not do on November 5th, 2024, because 760,000 Georgians did not vote on November 5th, 2024.
Listen, we had the state nice and blue. Y'all turned it red again. We got to turn it back blue again. And then, of course, we got the midterms. And then in 2 years. So, we got the halfway point. We can do something then again. So we got to just keep those conversations going. Keep the conversations, just have, like I said, I'm not big on politics, but I've had to really perk my ears up and pay attention to what's going on, because there's a lot going on, and we need to keep our eyes wide open over the next few years.
And guys, 2025 also marks a year also for municipal elections. So if you live in city limits, please keep your eyes open. I do believe the mayor of Atlanta is going to be in a race this year. So the mayoral races are and municipal races are this year. So
yes, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Yes,
so Donna, I've got to love and leave you now, temporarily. This is not a goodbye. This is a so long, because we will be back again. So long. So where can they follow you? Where can everyone get more information? Where can they follow you and keep in touch?
Okay, so I have a website, donnamcleod.com. I also can be followed on Facebook, IG, Blue Sky, Threads. I'm still on. I didn't come off of thing, but I probably will come off X very shortly. But all of it is Donna McLeod for you. Donna, Donna. McLeod is MCLEOD. The number 4 YOU. All across my platforms, all of them are Donna McLeod for you, because I am a public servant first. I love serving the people. My job is when people ask you to be their voice, is to truly be their voice.
Yes, and yes, absolutely. And I know that to be true, folks. I can definitely vouch for that. That is absolutely 100% correct. Well, Donna, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're in front of your computer right now because you got so much to do always. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And we will do a part 2 and a part 3, because I know there's going to be a lot more than what's happening right now. We've only had 4 weeks.
And I always big up the Cazzy, and always I got to give you your props. You're always trying to learn. You're always trying to do better. You're always trying to inform the community. So I'm always honored to be on your show. All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. So there you have it. That is Ms Donna McLeod. Please follow her. And let's keep posted. Let's keep our eyes wide open with everything that's happening now in this political climate. It is serious. And, that Project 2025, I did have a poster or a flyer about it. I did post it on Facebook one time, and I got slammed by Facebook, and I was restricted and banned for probably about 10 days. So I'm not going to repost it. But it's definitely something. I'm sure if you Google it, you might find some information. But yeah, this is happening. This is happening, and it's not good at all. So I am going to love you and leave you. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again next week Tuesday at 11 o'clock, right here on A Lunch Date with Cazzy. Bye. I'm just looking for my ending. Here we go.